Hey dog.
Yeah.
Man, I got this one I've been messing with. I think she it. I think this the one right here.
Like she it? She it?
Like I'm saying, we've been messing together for a minute, and I think I'm ready to settle down.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, congratulations to you. Low key.
I appreciate it.
It's a joint I've been dealing with for a little bit. She might be in that same lane.
You a lie.
No sir.
How long you been messing with
her? Couple months.
Couple
months.
You ain't never got past the month.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to tell you.
Every time you come around, my heart almost shuts down by the warmth of your smile. It's amazing to me that the world doesn't see what a wonderful woman you are. Your eyes and your lips plus those thighs and those hips, it's a crime, it's unfair. I can't help but stare. I want you, I need you, I sure gotta have you. I can't live without you, alright. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm in love with you. Such a lovely face. I can't get enough of you. Oh, yeah, by the way, I think I'm in love with you. Such a lovely face. I think I'm in love with you. Yes, I do.
The patience you carry, your cautious, you're daring. I do catch you staring from time to time. Inside I'm alive with you by my side. I feel I can fly so high. You know how to handle my attitude. Just wanna show you my gratitude. You make me feel like this time could be real, like this could be heavenly. Yeah, by the way, I think I'm in love with you. Such a lovely face. I can't get enough of you.
Oh yeah, by the way, I think I'm in love with you. Such a lovely face. I think I'm in love with you. Yes, I do. I think I'm in love.
Yes, I do. I'm in love with you.
I think I'm in love.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
I think I'm in love with you, darling.
By the way, I think I'm in love.
I'm in love.
I'm in love, babe. Oh yeah, by the way.
Yes, I do. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Candy B, and I am the creator and host of Poetry Where Creativity Speaks, a podcast. I'm a multi-passionate creative and entrepreneur, and I started the podcast to serve as a platform for DMV-based artists and creatives to come and share their story, share their art, connect with their fans, and to inspire and encourage others to do the same. And I am so excited to be here with my uber talented co-host, Mr. Kanara Cherry.
How you doing? I'm Kennard Cherry, co-host of the Poetry Podcast. I'm a musician, also a multi-instrumentalist, producer, business owner from the DMV, and I'm always excited to bring forth all the good talent that's in the DMV, and also just to expose them to other areas and let the world see what we have going on here. So I'm going to kick it over to, is it back to Candy or Lilaba?
Miss Oliva.
Yes.
Hey everyone, good afternoon, good evening. I'm also co-host of Poetry. I am a designer. I love creativity. I love words, and it's a pleasure as always to be here. Back to you, Candy.
Thank you, Lilaba. And we are so excited to have a really special guest today. And I just want to say that I am wearing a Domain Symbols t-shirt.
Oh yes, branding.
Drummers in the house, so just wanted to turn a little bit on that. Welcome, Mr. Wes Watkins.
What's going on? How you doing? Thank y'all for having me.
Good, very good. Glad to
Absolutely.
have you. Really enjoyed that video. I love the song, the music, everything. And
Yeah, I should have listened to it beforehand because I was losing my mind over here with my mic off. I was like, the guitar players, I'm like, the whole vibe just
really,
got me. Yeah.
are you serious right now? Can
Sorry, Shannon.
That's okay. So
But it was a genuine reaction, though. But go ahead.
Thank you. That's what's up.
I loved it. I loved it. But I was curious. So a couple of things. One of them was was that a conscious choice about the whole Black love?
Yeah,
Instead of, you could have made it, and then you guys could have been outside. You could have just made it kind of more instrumental. But
yeah,
tell me about that.
yeah. So this album, Moonshine Music, a lot of the songs, like it was dope because the way we constructed the album, I let all of the vocalists just do their thing. I don't like to micromanage. I hate it, like when you come to artists and you be like, hey, I want to work with you, and sometimes we can be like, nah, I want it to be like this, be like that, or whatever. So everybody just started doing their own thing, and most of the songs that were turned in were literally just about love. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And so it worked out like that. And by the way, when my man John Williams, when he wrote it, the first thing that just popped in my mind was just, yeah, I want to be able to show Black love on this album because coming through the pandemic and everything like that, and
Hmm.
everything we faced in 2020 with all the violence and this, that, and the fourth in our community, especially in the Black community. You feel what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
want to put something positive out there, so I just wanted people to be able to see Black love.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that part. And you said John Williams. He's just the
The
singer,
male, yeah,
male
it's
singer.
him and Shantae Can on this. Yep.
Yeah, I love they worked well together. I love
So
the sound together. Hmm.
the crazy thing was, I didn't even originally have them working together on this. So like I'm a random musician artist. So when we recorded the album, nothing had any words to it. Like
Oh, okay.
nothing. Like not a thing. So me and Shantae were supposed to work together from some stuff I did from her for last year, and then the pandemic hit. So it was just like, man, I'm like, I gotta get you on something. You have to be on this album. And so John wrote this song. He was coming to the studio. I'm like, hey, you got the song written yet? And he's like, nah. He was at a stop sign, like literally 2 minutes before he walked in. And by the time he walked in, he was literally like, hey, hit record. He hit record and he laid the verse down. And so then when I hit Shantae up, I'm like, hey, I need to get you on I need to get you on this joint. Can you write a verse to it? And so Shantae was like, I don't have time. You know what I'm saying? My bad, my daughter's here. I
Oh, okay.
love you. Okay. But yeah, I'm sorry. Give me a kiss. Yeah, it's fine.
She can say hi. Hi,
Mwah.
baby. Oh, she's so beautiful.
Yeah, come on, okay? All right, see y'all later. Y'all be safe. But yeah, and so Shantae, she didn't have time to write a verse. John wrote a verse. I sent it to Shantae. She recorded, and that's how it went.
Wow,
Yeah, that's
that
really
that worked out so well.
it. Did it did? I loved it because the way John wrote it. We had conversations. We were literally just talking about Black love. So
Hmm.
he made her verse fit, talking to the man and adore you, all that kind of thing.
Yeah,
It just worked out.
and I was wondering too. You know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard a little bit of a West Indian twist to it.
Yeah,
So
the vocal feel. Yeah.
okay, okay.
Adding that, like and that's the thing you want. I wanted the song to move. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
you hear it like adding that percussion and the tamarines. And so it's like I just imagine, I envision like if it's being played somewhere in a jazz club or on the radio or wherever it is. I want you to always dance and feel us when you're listening to our music. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like if you got that feel and you're moving, then you just got
Hmm.
it by the way.
Oh, you can't help but move with
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one.
You know,
Because
that,
I'm over here just
that was the whole goal.
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah, I had the funk face the whole time. I was.
Oh man. And the crazy thing is, like, I think we started playing it randomly at a show we did at the City Winery in like 2019, and then we just remembered it. I was like, oh, we got to record that, and it just turned into a song.
Nice. And speaking of City Winery, I love that place. I
My
really
favorite.
liked what they did with it.
Yes.
It's a nice place to perform, right?
Yes, it really is. We did a live recording. We actually didn't put the videos out yet, but we
Mm-hmm.
did 3 live recordings there, and we're going to put.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great place to perform. I can't wait to go back.
I know, right? That would be lovely.
Yeah.
Well, Wes, I got one question for you. So I remember, and this is something I would really never forget when, well, I think it was when the Grammys was in New York back in 2017. And I
Oh,
believe that you were playing with Kid Bennett. I think
yeah.
Got My Own Sound was backing up Kid Bennett and Desiree Jordan.
Yep.
And there's a thing where I was like, okay, me and my wife, we told Kid we were coming, right? I didn't know Wes was there, you know. And so we showed up, and man, when I tell you, from the time I sat down to the time I finished, y'all catch a vibe that's like that video. Just kind of everything that's in that video correlates on stage too, and so it's about the energy that you bring into your music. So from a musical standpoint, now you got into the lyrical part of things, and I know you said about how that song was created, but you carry that vibe everywhere you go. Even when I seen you in a couple of shows outside, you
Yeah.
still carry that vibe. What do you pull from when you're playing and then when you're creating? If they're
Uh,
if they're one and the same or different,
when I'm playing, I literally just pull from what is my audience receiving. Like I just have a thing. Like I don't care to play to musicians. I could care less about what a musician thinks. It's like I'm trying to cater to the audience. So I
hmm
pull from, are they dancing? Are they moving their head? Are they snapping their finger? Like I literally look at all of that when I'm playing. Like
hmm
if I see one person not some way involved with what I'm doing, because like
hmm
as a drummer's with a heartbeat.
right.
If I see one person not doing what they supposed to be doing when I'm playing, my mission
hmm
to make
Yeah.
sure that I get them dancing or snapping their fingers, clap. You know what I'm saying? And
hmm
so, from the creative standpoint, I honestly just pull from. I just want people to feel good.
Yeah.
So it's really like, what can I do just to put somebody in a mood of feeling good? Like
hmm
music is that universal language. It's that thing that can pick you up when you're down. It's the one thing that could just change your whole day depending on what you listen to. It can make you happy, or you listen
hmm
to a song to make you sad. You know what I'm saying?
Right. hmm
So my whole mindset is just how can I make people feel good when they hear me? I want when people hear me or my band or whatever
hmm
to walk away to be like, just like you said, like, dude, they was catching vibes all day. Like that
Right.
was great. I felt great. The music felt like that's literally like my entire mindset
hmm
creating. So it's like if when I'm creating with people, if I don't feel it, they're not gonna feel it.
That's
So
a true state. That's a true
yeah,
statement. When I saw you at the community event, like you made me, it made me want to go home and get my guitar, which is what I
yeah,
did. Like I
yeah,
was like, I want to play too. So
yeah.
that's what we did.
That's huge
hmm
because that's why I say I don't play to musicians. Like
hmm
I don't because musicians a lot of time we just look for the fancy stuff or whatever like that. And
hmm
sometimes we'll play so much, we'll play over the listener's head, and then the listener is just sitting there like, what the heck? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So it's like if I'm not doing that, then we're not doing our job. And for me, that's what makes creating. It makes it a joy for me to do. And that's where I pull from.
Got you. And along that same line, what was the first song that you remember that made you feel that way?
Dude, goodness gracious, man! I think it's hard to say because it's different genres for different songs. Like I can't put it into one.
hmm
So like hip hop as a kid, ride with my brother. All my brother used to play was hip hop. Like so, I think like that gave me the feel that it was like Tribe Called Quest.
hmm
And when you take it to like the funk, James Brown, Sex Machine,
hmm
uh, Michael Jackson. It's I keep going on and on. I can't like give like one because it's just like because my style is so many different genres put together.
hmm
Like each person in each different genre was the thing that ignited me to be like, oh shoot, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's a good question, but a bad question.
That is a good question, Wes. Along those lines, you all did a cover of "All My Love" with Luther by
Yeah,
Luther,
yeah, yeah.
and it was I really love that arrangement. And
Thank
so I was wondering, um, you know, what is your what are your thoughts about that era of music,
oh man,
and as a compared to today?
man, you know that era was feel like that was you put that on, babies getting made, uh, wine is getting poured. It was feel good. I just call it's feel good music,
Hmm.
and that's one thing that I carry with play because it's literally it just makes you feel good. You know what I'm saying? And the way they used to just be locked in the groove when they would play live, and
Hmm.
you know, it was an amazing time. And compared to now, I think that now is great, but the problem is that it's not as much of it played on the radio. So you don't, you know, from the major stations, it's just yeah, and no this, I mean, rap, hip hop, whatever you want to call it, what it is now. um, that's all you hear. But it's like there are people who still play feel good music. You just have to be willing to go find them. And I like I said, that era, I don't think it nothing can top that era. You know, from Earth, Wind and Fire, Luther, and all of those. It was just classics after classics after classics. No stems. That was just all organic. They weren't using tracks. They was playing that stuff live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness, man! If I ever had the opportunity to play with them back in the day,
Yeah, hey, listen. I mean, Candy, you said Luther Vandross, and it made me think of, and those are, are black artists. And I was also thinking about the Doobie Brothers.
Oh yeah.
They're not black, but I thought Michael McDonald was when I was
Right
little.
there.
right, right, right.
When I was little, but see, the crazy part about him is like he was one of the first ones that I heard that started using that backbeat, that
Yeah,
sequencer.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, and so, but you're right. Just the vibe of their music it's something. It was something in the water, something
Dude,
in the water.
it was like as soon as they touched the stage, it just hit you like it's like once that light switch went on, you couldn't turn
Hmm.
it off.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
some that do it now, but just that feel, that air, I don't. Ah man, it's hard to because oh my goodness, they was
So yeah, and I'm curious because something you said just brought this to mind. Are you all familiar with Damon Escobar?
No, Candy, who was that?
I was trying to catch a face.
You guys got to check him out. The man is brilliant. It is so he does instrumental. He fuses classical with pop music,
Oh,
kind of like black violin.
okay.
And just check him out, Damon Escobar.
Yeah,
Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about. Yes, I know
Okay,
who that is.
when
Yes.
you said when they step on the stage, that's what brought that to
oh,
me.
no, gotcha.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, okay. I'm at the check, and I probably done seen them and just ain't know the name, but I had to see it first.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what's
I think when my daughters turned me on to him because it was like he was playing violin, so they have like favorite songs and
Mm-hmm.
things like that, and very,
Yep.
very sensual with it.
right, right. Okay, okay.
Very.
That's
Yeah. Stop it. So, Wes, I wanna get a little nostalgic. I want to reminisce a little bit with you.
okay.
So you in 2013 you went to the Netherlands and you did some shed
Yeah,
sessions,
yeah. Yeah, it was a drum clinic basically.
drum
Hmm.
clinic. Oh, cool. I want to know how you got there, and tell us some more about that.
Yeah,
That
so
experience was like.
it was crazy. So in 2013, I got contacted by a guy named Fabian Benjamins and Anthony. What's wrong? Got Anthony's last name, but they were over the thing shared sessions, and so I got an inbox. You know, sometimes you think it's spam or whatever, and they're like, "Hey, you know, we want to bring you over here to the Netherlands." I'm like, "Where in the world is the Netherlands?" Look it up. I'm like, "Oh shoot, okay," but I'm just like, "Why these people reaching out to me?" Because I'm like, "You got any and every drum in the world you could think to bring over there." Like, So they explained to me what it was. They were starting this, and it was the first time doing it. And they was like, it's going to be big, and we want you to do it. We've been following you for a while, and we've reached out to all these other drummers, big name drummers who I ain't gonna name. And they just like basically they gave me the cold shoulder.
Mm.
And so at first I was like, oh, so I'm like your last result. That's why you sitting there asking me, you know. But then the more and more we talked, I just started looking at the big picture. So I'm just like, man, it's good. I can make this work for myself, and it could just be something big. And so I just had a vision. Like the more and more we talked, I just saw the vision of it. So they was like, honestly, they was like, hey, we don't have any money to bring you over here. We're literally just doing this. And like, we'll do whatever it takes to help you get over here. And it's one of them things. It's one of them leaps of faith right there. So I said, and you know what? I see the big picture of what's going to happen. So I got the money for it. Flew over there. I was there for a week. And before I even went, when word broke out that I was coming over there, next thing you know, I'm in their modern drummer magazine over there. It's called Slagwork Crank. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, so I'm in an issue over there before I even go. So I'm like, oh shoot. Then when I get there, I'm like, yo, I'm walking down the street, billboards with my face on it.
Oh
What?
my gosh.
Why we?
That is sweet.
I'm like, okay, going to the drum store, face all over there. And it was like you would have thought I was the Jay-Z of drums at the time. So it was honestly unexpected. Like I didn't know what I was walking into. That's why I said it was a fake lead, because I'm just like, I go over here, this joint be a hole in the wall,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd be short. And so, anyways, went forward, did it, and was over 200 people in attendance.
Oh
Ooh,
wow.
wow.
Yeah. It was huge.
Nice.
It was huge, and they got some musicians over there, crazy. And
Mhm.
so we did it, and next thing you know, word spread on social media, and by the time I came back, the followers grew, and then like 2 months later, I'm on the front page of the magazine with Questlove and Mike Mangini.
Mm.
And I went back, and so it just just doing that little bit right there, just believing in them, believing in myself, and prayer. It just blew up, and it became. I feel like that was I know that was the one thing that really catapulted the, like people really started to notice, oh, who is he? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went back in 2016, everything just kept growing from there. And so it was a great experience. Like, number one, just going out the country for the first time for my first international drum clinic,
Mm-hmm.
over 200 people in attendance, making magazine covers. Like, I'm making a magazine cover across the seas before I am here in my own home.
And how about that?
And
Yeah.
that's kind of the way it runs. I remember his was interesting. You went there, and then I remember we had Jay Cameron on the show, and he said his first experience going overseas was one of the things that changed his life. And so it seemed like that may have been an experience for you too.
It like I said, it absolutely was, because like I said, the first time I went there, to get there. So by the time I came back, I had an audience. So when I came back, I made, because I did my album release party, my first album. I did my album release party there, and yeah, so it's like now I'm going into another country. I'm doing an album release party in another country. It sold out. I made money this time. I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah, and was in the magazines again and everything else, and sold out of all my albums and sold out of tickets, and and so yeah, it just became that thing that helped push me, and that's what got me in the mindset like, oh, you could do anything. You were willing to take a faith leap and go across the country with no money the first time, and it worked out. Like, dude, you'll do anything.
Right. And so I'm curious, what do you think would pleasantly surprise the younger guys about being a musician overseas?
What would surprise them?
Yeah.
Just that it's I don't know what would surprise them. I think, you know what, I think that the thing that may surprise them is that when you go over there, at first I didn't think that it would be that many musicians over there who were on the same level as me. And so you have musicians over there that are doing it They may not have the exact same opportunities that we have here, but they're doing it there. You know what I'm saying? And so it just puts you in a whole nother mindset of, oh man, I need to hustle and get my stuff together. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I think that thing.
that's cool. So, do you still keep in touch with those guys?
Yeah, I do. My guy Anthony, me and him talk a lot. Matter of fact, and then I still have some of the people that reach out to me in the inboxes. You know what I'm saying? We talk here and there. It's not like it was before because I mean I got life, like we all got life going on, stuff like that. But
Oh,
I
yeah.
definitely get the opportunity to still speak to them. You know, because what I'm not gonna ever do is not speak to the people who helped get me here where I'm at. I ain't gonna. That's a no. That's one thing I never do.
Exactly.
Always
Mhm.
remember where you came from.
Yeah.
You know.
Hmm.
So
So Wes, tell us, Kennard, how did you guys meet?
Mm.
yeah, that's a good question.
It is a good question because I think I heard your name like long before we met. Because I
Yeah,
think the first time we met up was I was dealing with the man. When was that? Arborea days.
yeah. What 2015, 16?
2000. Yeah, probably yeah, right around 2015.
Yeah, yeah. But I still
Mm-hmm.
know exactly how we met though. I just
Mm-mm.
remember we was talking like we just had each other.
Yeah, it was one of the random things. It's like, but kind of like one of the things when I actually met you in person, it's like, okay, I feel like I've known this dude a long time
Yeah,
because, yeah,
literally that's how I went with the first time we met. Like, but I
yeah,
don't remember like what the heck happened. I don't know.
yeah. I no idea, but all I knew is one of those. I knew you were serious from Jump Street. I knew that.
Nah, appreciate it.
That's the other one of those things, and it ties into my next question. Now you have your son. How old is your son now?
He just turned 13.
And and I think part of it, well, I think part of your book, and then also us having like one of our private conversations, just in general, like your motivation. Some people say when they have children, they got to slow it down or pull back from the arts a bit so they can focus on raise the family and things like that. So, how did that shape you as a musician, being a parent?
Man, it was full force. Like my dad, my dad is a musician, so growing up, he was playing, worked his own business,
Hmm.
came home, had me and my brother. You know what I'm saying? So it was like you see it being done, so it's second nature. It's um yeah, it was nothing for me to go into that mode. It's like I said, just watching my dad, watching my brother with his kids. Like my brother had two kids and he was working, and so I'm like, it's the same thing. Like, yo, if you could have a job, you could do this, you could have your dreams and do everything at the same. It's just a way of finding the balance of how to,
Hmm.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? One thing I told myself was that I'm not going to back down because of my situation of having a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Hmm.
Made me work even harder. So like I've been working since the age of 9. So I always, up until, well, not even up until, but even after I had my son, I always worked like 2 to 3 jobs.
Mm.
It was nothing. It was just like, oh, it's just another job. Like I'm playing full time, I'm working full time. I got him. It's just a normal, you know what I'm saying? And it was crazy because like you said, like everybody used to tell me like, oh man, once he come, you ain't gonna be able to do this. Uh, I did a lot more when he came because that
Right.
mentality as a parent, like I have to take care of my kid. So
Hmm.
now I got to really go out here and get it, and it worked. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I wanted to ask that question because again, that's one question that comes up. I would say offline with a lot of, I would say, younger musicians that ask me, how are you able to do all the things you do, be a musician and play? And some will say it's hard because they're just relying on playing the church on Sundays or those types of things for an income.
Yeah.
And like to your point, I watch my father, I watch my stepfather, I watch my grandfather. No matter what went down, my dad had a mail carrying service for a minute, but he still had a full time job.
And it
So yeah.
and it's nothing wrong with it. Now if you
Hmm.
go to a place where you don't need the 9 to 5, cool. You know,
Right.
but like I tell people, like I didn't start full time, like just only doing music up
Hmm.
until 2016.
Hmm.
Up until then, I was working 2 to 3 jobs. A lot of people didn't know that. I was a truck driver. I worked for an electrical company. I was a forklift operator. I worked in the bank for 8 years. Like my resume is crazy. did that while playing. I was working a 4 9 to 5. Matter of fact, I was working at the bank when I went to go do the Netherlands, when I went to do share sessions. Like
Mm.
I had a, and so it's like I'm coming back to work with magazines of myself, and I'm still at a desk. Hey, welcome to BB&T. How can I help you today? Like, but for me, it was just like, hey, this is what I do. I work. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no shame in my game, and it's not no shame in it.
Hmm.
Like the younger musicians have to understand, it's grown man time. You know,
Hmm.
because at the end of the day, certain churches are only going to pay you but so much. But you don't want to have to depend on a church. You want to be able to depend on yourself. You want
Hmm.
to be able to, so yeah, it's nothing wrong with it, but that was just my mentality, and it still is my mentality. Like,
Yeah.
if you got to, like, matter of fact, I was trying to get a house, and because the pandemic hit, I went back to working full time for a little bit. I was like, man, I got my stuff, I got what I needed. Now I'm back to doing what I do.
Hmm.
Problem. It just all I think the problem is a lot of people, they confuse the Instagram hype. They see
Hmm.
the videos and the pictures. Oh man, such and such is doing this, and that's just pictures. That's just that's just pictures and videos. Unless you know how to monetize your platform, that's just pictures and videos. Other
Hmm.
than that, I can surely tell you a lot of people who they think are doing A through Z is not doing A through B.
Hmm.
you know, so yeah, but ain't gonna go so far left with that.
Oh
No,
no, you
that's
good.
good. That's really good. And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about that. But we're gonna take a quick break right now.
Cool.
We will come back with more Wes Watkins.
All right.
Thanks you all for sticking with us. We're actually going to have a poem from Miss Alilaba, and then we will get back into the conversation. Alilaba?
Hey again, everyone. So today's poem is called Radically Free. Radically free, radically free. You scream out to the darkness and light, thoroughly mixed in a uniquely created being called you. Radically free. You run, tainted by the chorus of yesterday. A chorus, a deep, undulating drumbeat that shatters the air with joy and sorrow, that leaps in the sky of praise and pain, that shakes and rotates, trying to pull you back as you move forward, jerking you as though on a leash. Radically free. Your heart breathes the wounds that play with the freedom you were born with. Your soul sings a song that cries out, free, while your mind shatters the song of the morning bird that recites a poem perched on a beautiful rose. Take flight, my beautiful, shrewd rose. Engulf me in the light of your heart. Fill me with the elegance of your bulb and breathe into me life anew. No, No, yes, please, yes. And breathe into me life anew. You will pick up the tainted chorus of yesterday and mix it with the rhythmic beat of today. You will splatter it with colors of hope and force a rainbow of peace to dance with the sun. You will paint an abstract piece of art and plant it in your heart and create a radical song that lifts your tainted chorus and binds your beautiful mind. You will scream out to the darkness and light in that uniquely created being called you. I'm free. I am ridiculously, humorously, soul enlighteningly, radically free. The end.
That was nice. I enjoyed that.
Thank
I,
you.
I'm free. Let's go. I'm free.
I'm free.
So, what's the story behind that one, Ayuba?
So the story behind this one is, many times within ourselves we are not free. Our mind goes through different things that end up in us not being able to feel free, or we have things in the past that don't help us to get ahead and do things that we want to do. Basically, we just feel we're not really free to be the people or the person that we want to be. And so basically this poem here just talks on that and says, hey, you know what? You can indeed be free. Despite what has gone on with you in the past, um, despite any change that seem to be around you, no matter what chaos may be going on, you can shake all of that on and shake all of that off, and you can just be free.
That's nice. I like that. There are a lot of really nice lines in that poem.
Thank you.
I have to say, I mean, I hear what you're saying about the breaking free, but I also heard love in that poem.
Yeah, love yourself.
Yeah.
Accept all that has happened, and
Hmm.
just like it is what it is, whatever. I won't let that stop me from being who I am, and I'll be free. And when you're free, it feels like you're able to really move on and do what you're meant to do, live out your purpose,
Hmm.
just live life to the fullest like we're supposed to live it,
I
not
like
feel
that.
like you're tied down.
Could you
And
read
life
that?
is too short. Pardon?
Absolutely. No, I was going to ask you to read that one line again where it talks about it ends with heart. There's a dance and a song and it.
Yes. Okay, let me start it from here. You will pick up the tainted chorus of yesterday and mix it with a rhythmic beat of today. You will splatter it with colors of hope and force a rainbow of peace to dance with the sun. That's the line, right?
I like that, but it was actually you said something about heart as well. Um,
You will paint an abstract piece of art
yes,
and plant it in your heart.
heart. Yeah, yeah. I really like that line. Really
Thank
like
you.
that line. That was beautiful. Guys,
Thanks.
what do you think? Love to hear your thoughts.
My bad. You said me? Sorry,
Yeah,
I
both of
could.
you. Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. Honestly, yeah, I loved it. My bad. thought nah, honestly, I love it for real, for real. Like it made me feel great.
Thanks.
Yeah, yeah. I
Mhm.
need to
Mhm.
start writing. I think I'm gonna do some poem on my next album, West Poetry.
Okay.
That's
Hey,
cool.
He's in West Poetry.
Some beats with some words. Oh, I love that combination.
Yes.
Man, hey, look, yeah, no, again, so like that being free, it's like just kind of always watching you perform, and like I will say perform your poetry because did I say poetry? Yes, not poetry. I did it right. Okay, so seeing you perform it is always a joy because you literally transform. You be sitting there like this, and next thing you know, boom, you're in it. And no matter where you are, it's like even though we're looking at you on the screen, it takes me somewhere. Like I'm listening to your words, I'm looking at the screen, but it's taking me somewhere. And that was a very warm feeling. It was like it made me think of like a very triumphant type of situation where you're now, free from something that you've really been dealing with, mainly probably yourself, not you, but just in general. We deal with
Right.
ourselves a lot, and being free from the bondage of our own negative thought process, that can have you to go leaps and bounds. So,
And on that note, Kennard, this is what Miss Tammy Teach had to say. You see that, Alilaba?
oh yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks
Thank
so much.
you.
Well, that was great.
Yeah.
And we know that Miss Alilaba has to leave us. So thank you so much for being here again and blessing us with that poem. And we wish you well in the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.
All
And to
right.
you as well.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
So Tammy, I wanted to get into Tammy. Oops, I'm sorry. I'll read the comment. So Candy, I wanted to get into this. It's a performance video that I loaded up from Wes.
Oh, yes.
We
Absolutely.
played, so we could talk about it, but I kind of want to play it first, then we can talk about it.
Yes. Let's do
All
it.
right. Surprise, surprise. No, I'm kidding. Oh, let me turn off my mic. Oops.
That was amazing. Loved it.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm always
Once again, I should have watched that beforehand. Because I try not to because I want to kind of have a genuine reaction to what's happening. But my soul, I'm sweating over here. Like that's crazy.
those drums are beautiful, and I'm not a musician, but I mean they were beautiful.
Yeah, gotta make them talk. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That's my
Hmm.
goal. Anytime I play, make them talk, making people.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Wow. So Voyager, like, I didn't get to see the credit. So who actually composed that? Is that one of yours or?
Kyrie, he does the live.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, that's his joint off his Black Suit Music album. That's from
Mm,
the older albums, if I'm not mistaken.
okay.
And yeah, it was just like a dope feel on that joint. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah, I noticed that you tend to use those hi hats on the right hand side because like with I would say traditional hi hats on over on this side of the drums or whatever. But looking at the video or whatever.
Yeah,
But yeah.
both. Like the thing is, it's just like um, it's like more comfortable just open handed. Like especially like in a lot of stuff I play because I honestly don't like moving around the kit 24/7. So I hate like I really started thinking about it like why do we play crossover when it's like that's like
Hmm.
you don't sit down and eat your food like this. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I started thinking like, dude, like it's actually comfortable just playing like this, you know. But then sometimes I do like to just have that crossover feel. So sometimes I play with the open or I go back and forth, you know.
Yeah, and it goes back to what we were talking about before. Is like that, like the music feels good. Like that, I think that's the thing. You make everything feel good. I think Bernard Purdy used to say, what was it? He would always say, you got to make it feel good, no matter what it is. You got to
Oh,
make it
yeah.
feel good.
Like
Yeah.
that like all day long. You know what I'm saying? Like if it don't
Hmm.
then there ain't no point in doing it, in my opinion.
Right. And so with that, just kind of shift gears a little bit. So getting into your books, right?
Okay.
So two books right now. So you have a hardback, you have one that's digital,
I got
right? Three.
yeah,
Oh,
so first
educate me.
yeah, my first book, The Life That Created My Sound, that talks about everything from
Okay.
life, unemployed, depression, suicide, alcoholism, all that other good stuff. Not good
Hmm.
stuff. But, and then the second book, Motivation Plus Drive Equals Purpose. That's literally just on. I dropped that last July, and
Okay.
it's about finding your purpose and having the motivation and drive to get to your purpose. You know,
Hmm.
I just dropped the ebook on how to build your social media Friday, and then I got two children's books coming out in the summertime.
Oh wow. But
Yeah,
that's powerful stuff. I mean, in regard to just that part, you're already communicating musically. Now you're communicating and being an author and
yeah.
those types of things. So, how did you? Now, did you slow down a little bit on the music to do the book, or it was just still simultaneous drive?
Now, the first book, I was actually writing that when I was on tour. So,
Okay.
a lot of people think when you're on tour, like, oh man, everybody be partying. Like, y'all only really knew the tour life. By the time you travel and land, and most of the time, man, you in the bed. So it's I would literally land in town wherever we were at, and
Hmm.
I just had my computer with me before sound check, have some hours to myself, and I sit there and just be on the computer writing the book. So I think I finished the book. We came back and I probably had like some downtime. We didn't go back on the road for like a month, and then I finished the first book when I was home.
Mm,
And yeah, and then I did the same thing with the second book. I was writing while I was on tour.
okay. Yeah, that's powerful stuff. I actually want to share a comment because people have some questions for you. So,
Okay.
see, this I don't know if you're able to read it. So
Nah.
this is, I said, this is so good. Where can I purchase West Music?
Oh man. You can go to Spotify, iTunes. It's on every digital music outlet. Um,
Okay.
yeah. And the new album actually pre-order start on Wednesday for the new album.
Hmm.
While we're actually doing this interview, I just started seeing everything come across my screen from DistroKid saying everything is ready. Like, yes, yes,
Yeah,
Lord. Yeah.
got it rolling. Then you have another comment. It's amazing. It was, I guess, a response to your video.
Thank you,
Then
thank
also, Tammy, what did she say? I love the use of beautiful. Love your use of beautiful. I don't usually think of drums as beautiful. I think of them as powerful. It is wonderful to hear the beauty of the drums. I'm really happy that I joined today. Wonderful show.
That's what's up. Yeah, it's making the drums talk. You know, sometimes we don't have to pound away, and they don't have to always be loud. You know what I'm saying? Like you just gotta find your voice and make them join speak. And hey, drums can be a beautiful thing. You know.
Yeah, it can be a beautiful and destructive.
Yeah.
But but what's the question in regard to the purpose, right? Um, as far as your perspective, I think sometimes we may confuse purpose for something that we do. Okay.
Right.
And like sometimes we mistake being busy for being on purpose.
Right.
So,
Right.
so can you speak to that a little bit as to what, as far as your definition of what you think purpose is versus everything else?
Purpose is what was our purpose to be? Like what is my purpose here on earth? Like so for me, it's like I'm not just a drummer. Like
Mm-hmm.
drumming is just the bridge to everything else that I do. Right. So my purpose is to impact lives.
Mm-hmm.
My
Mm-hmm.
purpose is not just to be a drummer because I'm still going to be Wes whether I have drums or not. That's why I can still. That's why you get the Wes now that writes the books, that does the videos, always positive because that's me outside of drums.
Mm-hmm.
Drums is just the vehicle to get you to me that I use on my social media, get you to me. Now I'm going to expose everything else of what I do. You know what I'm saying? So it's, like you can't have purpose if you don't know your why or you don't have identity. So it's like if you don't have your identity, you lack vision because I don't know who I am, I can't see what I'm purposed to do or who I'm purposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So like you said, just you taking on a whole bunch of tasks, that doesn't mean you're purpose to do that. No, you're just taking on tasks that have absolutely nothing to do with the vision or what you were purposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't succeed the way they want to because you're not doing things you're purpose to do. You're doing things that you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know the difference between the want and your need. You want to do all this stuff. You don't need to do it. You need to do things that line up with your vision and your purpose. So for me, when I started finding out that, okay, I was put here to impact lives, right? So how do I impact lives? I impact lives through my story. How do I tell my story? I had to get to a place where that's why the first book is literally about what I went through, from the alcoholism, from uh the depression, suicide, and all of these things. That's my story. I became comfortable enough. I dealt with my issues. I speak on it. Now, my purpose is to help inspire or motivate people to get out of the same thing they may be dealing with that I dealt with before.
Mm-hmm.
So now everybody see, oh man, he's drummer. Oh, I didn't know he went through this. I didn't know you went through that. Yeah, I wrote a book on
And
it.
that's motivation drive. Motivation plus drive equals purpose, right?
Right. Nah, what if the first one is the light that created my own sound? But
Okay, that one.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that one right there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then what came after that was the way. So like I end that book when I'm talking about finding your identity and everything. So motivation
Mm-hmm.
plus drive equals purpose is a pickup from that. So when I
Okay.
found identity, now I got the motivation and drive to operate in my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's the thing, man. It was just like literally that's what created that. That's how I got that. You know what I'm saying?
That's a powerful piece. I think the something you said earlier too that ties into something that you just said in regard to knowing who you are, right?
Yeah.
And knowing who you are is very important because as musicians, sometimes we do play to other musicians. Like that's that because it's the culture of, let's say, church. Because sometimes, like we grew up around the church and grew up in church, and I noticed that you have a very popular musician that comes around. There's like 20 to 30 younger musicians that's crowded around them while they play, and it's almost a thing where some of them are learning to do their own thing, some are intimidated, but at the same time they're looking at something that they want to grab but not really understanding they have their own voice inside of that already.
Yep. And it took me a while to find that out too, So, that's why I used to, not that I hated it, but when people be like, oh man, you sound like this person, you sound like that person. And it's because I didn't even have an identity as a drummer at the time. So I had to shut myself down from watching drummers for two and a half years. to really be like, okay, I need to find my identity and find my sound. And then I built my sound and found my identity and, so on and so forth.
Let's get my own sound.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's very important that you have that, because that helps you to say, okay, now I know how to navigate because I have my own identity. So like now, nobody could tell me, oh, you sound like this person, you sound like that person now, because I have so many different personalities when I play on kit. I know for a fact I can make myself sound like whatever I want when I want. It's a light switch. And that's a reason why I do all the videos I do on Instagram. So you can't never measure me to one, because Monday I might be feeling this way. Tuesday I might be feeling this way. Wednesday I might be feeling, so you never know which side of me you're going to get when it comes to playing, because I have my own identity and I can switch it up at will,
Man, that's powerful stuff, and I think that's one of the key things. When you what you say, having your identity allows you to have your, kind of communicate how you feel in different aspects of things.
Yeah.
As opposed to just kind of doing whatever it is that comes out.
Right.
Candy.
Yeah, I'm curious because the book is so raw and it's so transparent. I'm curious, how it was, how difficult it was to actually write it. What was the reaction from people, and has your son read it?
So honestly, it wasn't hard at all to write it.
Okay.
So for me, it's like when you learn how to deal with your issues, and it's just me, in my opinion, I became so comfortable just talking about it to people. So even before writing the book, I started, like, once it was certain people that started finding out suicide attempts and all this, that, and the fourth. And so it became a therapy thing for me just to be able to talk about it out in general, in public.
Okay.
And so by the time I write the book, I have an attitude that I built from everything I went through, that I don't care what people say about me. I really don't. I don't care. I don't care. You ain't got to like me. You don't have to like what I do, what I wear, whatever. As long as you're not disrespecting me, I don't care. So it gives me that confidence to be able to speak about any and everything that goes on with me, because I don't care about the opinion. My main focus is, like I said, my purpose is to impact lives. That's what I care about. So if I'm holding back because I'm worried about the opinions of other people, I purpose. I can't do what I was purposed to do, because I'm holding people back from their freedom because I'm worried about the opinions of others. You get what I'm saying? So
I do. Yeah.
That makes it so easy for me to write the book. Like, I literally wrote the first book. I wrote that. I started writing on tour in like end of August. I was finished by October. Like,
wow.
Yeah,
fast.
Literally, literally, I was writing every day. Like, it was no time. Like, even the publisher, she was like, "Yo, you finished already? Like, you literally just said you were." I'm like, "Yeah," like, because I knew everything, and so writing it wasn't that hard. It was so when I went back to read it, though, there was sometimes like, I can't believe, like, dude, you for real did, like, you was a dummy. Like, that's how I talk to myself. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just. Like, God got you, but bro, you you on with the quickness, And so, And so, what was the second question?
Well, I was curious to know, if your son had read it or not.
Nah, he hasn't read it yet. We've had conversations. I don't want him to read it yet.
Okay.
But mother, she read it. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing is, she literally just texted me like a week and a half ago, and she was she was like, "Dude, I finally read your book." She was like, "I boo-hoo cried," because in the first chapter, I'm talking about when me and her went through, and I made sure that it was on me, because I'm not gonna never throw anybody in the book, because we were young, we did our stuff, but it was I wanted people to see that when you go through a situation and you take ownership, I can't blame anything on her or whoever, because when I start tracing the root problem back, it's like, this happened because I made this decision. And so, like, that's another thing. When I became comfortable and being able to take ownership and saying, dude, you get mad because you went to court? Well, you slept with her. You did this, you did it. So then it was like, I was like, you know what? Dang, this is the consequences for the decision I made. So if you don't
Right.
make a decision, you don't deal with the consequences. Now, the problem, the thing people got to understand is that whether you're a good person or not, when you make a decision, there are consequences that come with the decision that you make. You could go right or you could go left. There's a path drawn out that's going to happen if you go left. There's a path drawn out that's going to happen if you go right. Whatever you do is on you. You just got to be prepared for what happens afterwards. You feel what I'm saying? And so,
Exactly.
yeah, but it just made it easier. Like since then I've been able to accept. So that's how I navigate, and it just makes it so much easier, you know. So, yeah.
Yeah, and on that note, is there a section you would like to read for us real quick?
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
This is the part, chapter 3, this from the first book, chapter 3, when I was talking about drinking. When faced with various challenges in life, we look for different ways to deal with them. Not realizing that regardless of what we do, if we don't face a situation, it'll never go away. We run from what we don't want to face, so we won't have to deal with the consequences that we can't see or control. That was my main problem throughout life. So I would get myself in a situation or something would happen because of a decision I made, and then I want to run. And so for me running, the thing to escape it, I'm drinking. And then I'm like, oh man, woe is me. Why am I going through this? But it's because I didn't want to face the situation head on. So the more and more you don't face it, the more and more you try to run away, the more and more problems are escalating and you're making the situation even more worse than it needs to be, you know? And so once my mind locked on that, like, no, you need to deal with everything head on, and you have to be willing to accept any consequence that comes your way from a decision you make. It makes it so much easier for me to move, you know?
Absolutely. We are where we are because of the choices that we make.
Period. That's
Period. Point blank. Period.
Listen, that's why I honestly don't do excuses from people. I don't do excuses. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like did somebody put a gun to your head to do it? No. Okay then. All right. Okay.
There it is.
Yeah.
So on that note too. So you wrote that first book. You put it all out there.
Mhm,
You found success for yourself very well.
mhm,
You're doing very well, and then you write the other book, the motivation book.
mhm.
And I know obviously people need to go and buy it.
Yeah.
I was hoping that you would share a couple of tips for us on, how to grow your business, how to grow your Instagram account. Just some things you want to
Oh yeah, yeah.
share with the folks.
Oh yes, of course, of course. Man, so it's like number one, you need to find out what your audience wants. You know, I um one thing I'm always big on is making sure you find the need and not the want. So a lot of times when people are trying to get their Instagram up or their social media and grow it, they'll start putting a whole bunch of random things on. But it's like the people that are following you, is this what they want? It don't matter if you got 10 people. Those 10 people, you focus on the 10 people that come to your page every day. So if they like motivational videos you're doing, okay, let's start doing motivation. Let's start looking at hashtags. I go look all that stuff up. You know what I'm saying? Uh I started seeing what hashtags are popular. Okay, let me build my own hashtag and let me stick to like 5 certain ones. Finding the times that your audience is on social media. So I used to work at a church called I-5, and they sent me to school for this. So like my job was actually from 2012 to 2016. My job was to build social media accounts. And so the one thing they taught us was, the posting times. You post in the morning between 7 and 9 a.m. You post, and that's when people are waking up out of bed, getting ready to get their coffee. They're getting themselves together. And one of the main things everybody does when they get out of bed is what? Grab their phone.
Mm-hmm.
So when you grab your phone, my thing was I need to be the first thing you see. So a lot of times people see a post that goes up from me first thing in the morning. And so I remember when I stopped doing the motivational posts, like like about 6-7 months ago, I stopped doing them for a little bit in the morning. My inbox was flooded like, hey, where you at? Like literally like, why are you not posting? Like I get my day started with one of your videos.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like, ah, shoot, okay, my bad. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? And then
Mhm.
the afternoon, so you got the set between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. Then you have between 11:30 to 1:30. That's lunchtime. People are getting off of going on break, going to lunch, going to their car, whatever, and what they doing? Picking up their phone. So I need to make sure I'm in their face between 11:30, 1:30. The next time I'm posting that you should post is between 5 and 7 p.m. Why? People getting off of work and in traffic. They at the crib chilling. They got back home after work. Now they on the couch with the fan. They might be watching TV, but guess what they got near them while they on that couch? Their phone. So I make those 3 times to be present in everybody's faces, and I just break it up. I try to stick to motivational video in the morning, probably a picture or a picture with some quotes on it, hit them with a video, then end it with a picture at night. That's just a few tips. But like once you start locking on that kind of stuff like that, and your audience will literally start always looking for you at those times. And as long as the content you're putting up good, they're going to start sharing it. Then other people are going to start sharing it. Then they're going to share it. Then they're going to share it. And
Mhm.
before you know it, next thing you know, now you just got a consistent flow, and everybody's making you get bigger because it's like, oh, I want to go there because they have great content.
So, Wes, how does that translate into actual monetization?
So the thing so like you can it's a few different things you could do, depending on what you do. I tell people monetize your YouTube platform. So if you build your social media, if you build your following on your Instagram, whatever it is that you do, like for me, okay, I'm a drummer. So my YouTube is really going to be my full drum videos and studio stuff like that. So when people see me posting the minute clips, I always, I need money to see. Hey, go to my YouTube page. It built my following up. So that's one way you could do that. I have the thing now on my Instagram. I'm monetizing that by just uh a lot of songs that you may see me play. Some of those songs, people are literally like, there may be songs from certain artists like, hey, I'm gonna pay you X amount of dollars to do this. You know what I'm saying? You can start getting the ads in your Instagram posts and your Facebook posts. You get 1,000, you get up to 1,000 followers. You get up to 1,000 followers with 4,000 views on YouTube. You're subject for monetization on there. Now everything you put up, you're gonna get a check coming in for whatever you're doing, and you keep that consistently going. You know what I'm saying? You can use your platform. Like now, like next week I start promoting small businesses, artists that are trying to get themselves out of there. Your product, your song or whatever you want me to play to, or whatever. Okay, they pay me X amount of dollars. That's gonna be posted. It doesn't come off my page. It's so many different things you could do to monetize it. You know what I'm saying? But you literally have to first find out the needs of your audience. So once you find that out and you lock in on it, then it just becomes a consistent flow.
Okay, so regarding that, what was I going to ask you? I just lost it. Come back to me. I don't.
Okay.
It's okay. Yeah. I mean, and the part that you said is very important is really understanding the needs of your audience.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think that's the key. And sometimes, even some of the lives that we do, like I'll just ask a direct question: "What do y'all need?"
yeah,
That type of thing. And honestly, it works because we'll get inboxes or we have certain requests, and we have a thing where we do a call consultation, like symbol consultation, and
yeah.
people schedule appointments to have a conversation with me or two other reps, just to kind of get some information to find out where they are, what they're looking for. And so, like looking at your channel, yeah, you're very strategic and
Very,
specific in what you put up.
very like everything is planned and thought out. So I tell people, anytime I do something, there's always an intention behind it. Like I've done some videos that may not get the big views, but I don't focus on that. So my thing is like I did a video about a week ago, or whatever. It ain't a lot of views, but the thing is, I was doing it for an artist.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trip off of the views. The views are going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't get that. You have to focus on the 1% of your audience. So I have 70,000, almost 80,000 followers. Man, I'm focused on that for real. That's 700. That's small, because the thing is, you get 100 people. Let's just say you get 100 people to share what you're doing. When they share it, there's going to be another 100 people behind them that's going to see that, and that's going to come to you, either follow you or repost. You know what I'm saying? So I'm never focused on trying on the big number of people. Oh, I got to get this out to the masses. Nah, it'll get there. I'm focused on this small amount right here. I get these people rocking with me. That's going to be in my comments or my, my inbox or whatever, 24/7. They're going to help push what I have.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so when I found out the needs, like everybody was asking for drum lessons for the longest time. Okay, I did drum lessons. So when
Mm-hmm.
I put the word out in March, my class is sold out a month in advance.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, I put a package deal together. Hey, it's 200 for 4 classes. It's 180 for 3 classes. 160 for or 120, something like that. The numbers on the thing. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. And so on. So, but what people started doing, hey, I'm getting in it. People started booking the classes up. You know what I'm saying? That's a need that they wanted. People always ask me, man, how do you get the social media followers? That's why I did the ebook. Okay, cool. I'm gonna give y'all that.
Right.
Everybody, man, I need drum loops from you. We need drum loops and stuff like that. Okay, cool. That's fine. So what did I do? I teamed up with some people. We did the drum loop thing. We just released that. Yeah, it's literally just so much. So it's like literally I just literally cater to the needs of all of the people that follow me, that help support me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so once you do that, people are going to buy in. And the thing is, I always tell people, they're not just buying a product, they're buying into the vision of what they see me presenting. That's the thing. You want people buying into you. When people buy into your vision, that means that it's more than support. They're investing into your vision because I believe in you, and I believe that somehow, some way, I'm gonna get a return on what you're doing myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And so, what I was going to ask you was, it sounds like it doesn't matter where you are. And so, my question was, I always ask the artist, is it possible to make a full-time living as a musician, artist, creative in the DMV area?
Oh yes. Again, it's just a matter of you have to really sit down and plan it, but you could do it. It's just a matter of being strategic and intentional with it. So a lot of people, when they get on social media, it's, oh man, I want to post pictures, and you want to just post these random videos or have your page looking like a graphic website. Nah, you gotta make it look appealing to bring people in to want to keep coming back to you. You know what I'm saying? So once you do that, yeah, you can. I know a lot of content creators in the DMV area that's making money off literally just social media. Like, I didn't think it was possible until I started doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
it's a very real thing, because
yeah,
it's one of those things where when you focus in on those that are really investing in what you're doing and
yeah,
investing in your product, and or just as you as a person, it's it's easy to navigate, because I know a couple of folks that have maybe 500 followers right now. They're making 5 to 10 grand a month
yep. And that's
because
what the thing is. They're focusing on the small percentage. It's not
Mhm.
always the amount of followers you have.
Right.
It's not always that. That's just a plus. Cool. Like I tell people, like, it's cool that I have that amount of followers. Cool. That doesn't mean I'm making money off of all 79,000 of them, because I'm
Right.
that's just a fact of the matter. You know, there's some people that literally just come to the page to do comments, and that's cool. I have no problem with that. I can interact with you, but that small percentage of people that I focus on, those are the people who invest into my vision,
hmm
keep coming back, and I keep making sure that I meet their needs.
Yeah.
So, like, oh, we good, you know?
Absolutely, Wes. Look, I mean, I hate to cut the interview, but we're not really cutting anything. But you've given us so much information today. Like, I'm gonna go back and take some notes.
I
But I want to thank you for being with us today on the Poetry Podcast, and I just want to I want to ask one last question. I want you to speak to those people that are sitting, maybe watching this, or maybe sitting not watching anything, and may come across it, and they have all these ideas, but they're in a circle of people that cannot, that does not support them,
Mhm.
and they're visionaries. Like, what is one thing that you can say to them to maybe get them to just kind of spark and just continue, like, to dive into it anyway?
Number one, you gotta have faith in yourself and faith in your vision, and and you have to know that everybody's not going to support everything you do. It's just a fact of the matter. Everybody's not going to support what you do. Everybody's not going to like what you do, but you have to have the mindset that no matter what, I'm going to make this happen. So if you have your vision, you need to first write it down, write the vision, make it plain. If you pray, pray over it. I do. And then you write the plan out of how you're going to accomplish the goal. When you get those steps down, and if the people you around not rocking with you, guess what you do? You do it yourself. You keep going, because the thing is, when you have true vision, vision will choose who you hang with. Vision will choose the people of how you speak. Vision will choose everything for you, but you have to stay focused in that vision. That's the one thing I learned. Like, you know, um, a lot of people that I thought would, when I did all these great things, oh, they're gonna support me. I got people that was close to me, and it's not just because of this, but that didn't read the book. And it's like, oh, okay, I got strangers across the seas buying my book more than I had people in my own backyard buying my book. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay, it's cool. It's just knowing that, hey, everybody's not going to support you. Everybody's not supposed to support you. But the thing is, you have to just have a mindset that this is my vision and I'm going to accomplish it no matter what. Now, when you start getting, when you start going through the process and you feel like it's too hard and you want to give up, then that means you don't want it bad enough. That means you need to really ask yourself, was this really part of my vision? Because vision is going to come with process. The process is not going to be easy. The process at times is going to be ugly. It's going to be hard. It's going to make you want to quit. It's going to discourage you. It's going to beat you down. But that's when you got to get your behind back up and walk back on the path to get to your vision. So I would say stick in there no matter what. Have faith, pray, and push. Nobody else does anything new under the sun. You just got to have that hard work ethic with it to go and stay consistent.
Thank you so much for that. And
Absolutely.
my last question for you, it
Mhm.
sounds like you kind of already touched on it, but what is the message that you want to put out into the world?
Uh, Again, my message is mainly just, man, it's execute and don't quit. I think because there were times in my life dealing with situations that um I tried to quit. Even from the last time I tried to commit suicide. I did everything I could to quit. I took all the pills. I chased it with Jack. I put a gun up to my head before I pulled the trigger. I've cut myself. I can go down the list, and it made me stronger than ever before. And so, don't allow life situations to hold you back, because the thing that you think that disqualifies you for your purpose actually qualifies you. So,
Amen.
yeah,
Yeah,
man,
yeah, that was a word right there.
yeah. So I would
Mm-hmm.
keep pushing forward, man. Like,
Yeah,
the disqualification is your qualification.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Wes. This was great. Your music
Yes,
is
sir.
amazing. Like Tammy Teach said, it gives you a new outlook on drums and drumming and just drum sounds. I love your music. Congratulations to you. You're doing amazing work.
Thank
And
you.
I hope folks will go out and get all three of your books.
Yeah. Yep. Go get them. Go get it.
Go get it. And it
Mhm.
is this the leak tree? Is that the best way to kind of reach out to you?
Yeah. Yeah. And then DM whatever like that. My website is also on. We haven't had a chance to get everything on the website yet, so that's why it's on Linktree. So that
Okay.
is actually the goal this week. It's been so much just coming in, because honestly, there's another ebook dropping next week.
Oh wow.
Yeah, for musicians transcribing my notes in the videos, my videos into notes on paper. So yeah, so it's like we've been trying to gather everything so it could go on the website. But yeah, y'all can find all the links on there to the books, to the albums, everything. Yeah.
Hmm. And the and you're also doing coaching, is that correct? Like you could coaching entrepreneurs or musicians to help them.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So you reach out to me for that. I'm doing it all. Like it's I told myself like, man, I tell people you're a walking company. So be that company.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
you are the brand. You
Yeah.
are your own brand. So I started a lot of companies that are out here. They need us. So it's like, why not be the company? You can do what you need to do yourself. It's just gonna take work. It's not an overnight process, but
Mm-hmm.
happen. So I'm at the place of I'm not going back working for nobody no more. I've I've been working at the age of 9, literally
Mm-hmm.
since 9.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it no more. I'm I,
I hear you. But and you said, I heard you say somewhere where you started. You actually drummed with at the age of 7.
no, I started. I've been my dad literally has had drumsticks in my hand since the day I was born. I The age of 7 is when I played for Richard Smallwood for the
Yeah,
first time.
Richard Smallwood. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yep,
Yeah.
yeah. I,
That's amazing. How does a 7-year-old get a gig with Richard Smallwood?
man, he was coming up doing workshops at my church. So me and my cousin was playing drums. He was like 14 at the time, and so I forgot why he stopped playing, but I could always play. I used to play with the adult choir at times.
That's
So
amazing.
if I'm not mistaken, we were at a rehearsal, and I forgot what song it was he was playing, and my uncle was like, because my dad wasn't there, so that's why my dad didn't even end up playing. So like we all played the same church, but my dad wasn't there. My uncle told me get on the set, and I started playing, and Richard Small was like, I held down the whole workshops, and I was
Wow.
for him for a minute when he would come out here, and then I was supposed to start playing at his church at one point back then, but my mom was like, man, we out here, I'm not driving to DC every day, boy. Our church up the street, we going.
That's so funny.
Yeah, like that's how it went. It was fun. I literally had sent him the picture a little minute ago. I was like, man, you remember when I was playing for? He was like, oh my god, I can't believe this shit. Yeah,
That, that's so cute. I hope. Yeah, I'm glad you have pictures of that because that's
yeah.
something.
We got pictures. I actually need to get my uncle had the video. I need to get it converted.
Oh yeah, video. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we still got it on VHS.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Got it. One last thing.
Yep.
So, who's your dream collaboration? Dream collab.
Man, y'all be asking some questions. Y'all, my dream collect. Man, I don't even. Hey, I wish you should have prepped me for this one. Shoot.
No. You'll need prep. For that.
Man, my dream collab for real would have been like I don't even know, because it's so many different genres I would want to collab with people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just say for hip hop, man, I would love to collab with like Q-Tip.
Okay.
That would be on like a Tribe Called Quest type joint.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved to collab with. We talk about living or
Either way. I mean, I was talking about living, but I
okay.
I
Yeah,
would love to hear your.
that's a little easier. Let me. That's a little. Right now, honestly, I would love to collab with like a Lucky Day, her or a Lucky Day. I think that'd be a dope, some dope artists. Yeah, I just say that for right now. I don't. That's what I could think of right now. Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
You got me curious now, though. I mean, who's not living that you would love to collab? Would have loved to collab.
Oh shoot! If I could have did a James Brown gig.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what? Man,
Okay.
I mean, they used to just sit in them grooves for 30 minutes, literally. Like if I could have.
Yes. Yes.
Like,
Yes.
that would have just been, whew,
Those are the days, huh?
man. What? Like all my dad used to play with James Brown back in the day. So
And you had to know, and you had to know how to play, because James Brown, he's one of the, he can actually feel with, like him and Michael Jackson, they can feel when something's off. And he had two drummers. I'll never forget Circuit City. I was walking through and it was two drummers. He was like, drummer to my left.
it's
Put your sticks down.
yeah.
Wow.
I said,
Like,
wow.
And you got to think back then, there wasn't no metronomes and they were the metronome. Man. But yeah, I would have loved to have the opportunity to do something with James Brown back in the day.
Yeah.
That would have been crazy. Yeah.
Well, again, thank you so much for being here. This was awesome. I love your videos, and the YouTube. You just let it play. Just let it keep playing and do your thing because it's some good stuff right there.
Yeah, we actually just real quick. We actually just dropped a new video today called "Let's Start a Riot."
Yeah, that's right.
It was produced during the time when George Floyd was murdered. So everything on there speaks to the injustices and it's crazy. Like before we started the interview, I had just put it out, and it features King Los, dope hip hop artist, David James, who produces for like Ari Lennox and Andy Minnie, all these other people, my man Killer Cal and Paris Price. They're all DMV artists, but with my band I'm on sign. This will be on the new record, the new album coming out next week. But yeah, if y'all get a chance, go on YouTube, check that out. It literally just dropped like an hour ago.
Yeah,
So,
definitely will.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you so much for putting that out there.
No problem. Yeah. I had to make sure on this album that we touched on more than just feel good music. I had to make sure that we literally touched about what's going on in our communities and stuff like that.
Right.
Which is important because as artists, we have platforms.
Yeah.
We need to use them.
Yeah, so I was like I was big on that this time. I was like, man, we didn't hold back this one. Like, just last thing, we got a song also called "What Can I Do" from my guy Kane, and he's speaking and he's white. He's a hip hop artist. When you hear it, he doesn't sound white, but he's speaking on what can I do as a white person for the black community, and then he also speaks as a black child. What they go, it's crazy. Like, oh my goodness! Like when we played this joint at the listening party, everybody was just stuck face, dumbfounded. You know what I'm saying? And so he's into Let's Start a Ride of just combining everything from why us as black people, why we feel the way we feel. And the song is not to start a ride, but it's like, if we want to start a ride, y'all keep killing us. You're not listening to us when we're trying to be peaceful. You murder us in the streets, you doing this, you doing that, So yeah, we get we touch some nerves on this one, So yeah,
definitely something to check out for sure.
Cool, sounds good.
All right. Thank you, Les.
All right, so we're pretty much going to end out. I have another short video to play, but what we're going to do. So Wes, pretty much again, thank you for being on the show, and I really appreciate the words of wisdom and just being transparent, because I think that's one of the elements that is really missing as it relates to, I would say, musicians. A lot of musicians are very quiet, and understanding that. But again, like when they play, you can feel it, you can hear it, but when they put a voice to it, yeah, something different.
I got you. I appreciate it. I'm gonna be transparent all day long, man.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, we'll play this video for you. All right.